Managerial competence is essential in all aspects in working life as it allows managers to adapt in changing demands and situations of its employees and customers. Communication is a human need that allows interaction between individuals and in turn the very development of society. Communication is the process in which two or more people exchange messages with similar codes to share meanings in order to be understood and influenced so that approaches are accepted using channels that give better support to the transmission of information.
There are a number of factors that influence communication, and communication contributes to many different managerial competencies. Not only is communication interlinked with several managerial skills and qualities, but it can benefit other competencies too. Competent managers are capable of understanding reactions, subordinates and colleagues throughout the process of problem solving within a business. The success of any decisions made depend on both the quality of the decision and the acceptance through verbal and non-verbal means of communication between those who must implement the decisions. Communication within a workplace has a number of positive effects. It leads to higher productivity levels, lower labour turnover and a general increase in staff morale. This benefits the managerial competence of teamwork. Teamwork depends on communication as subordinates need to feel comfortable communicating with the manager who values their suggestions. Communication as a competency impacts the style of leadership that the manager chooses. Autocratic leaders generally have poor communication and decreased teamwork. Democratic leaders utilise their power and position to make shared decisions with subordinates. Laissez-faire leaders, in contrast, do not emphasise any structure. There is a general lack of communication.
Communication is the process by which two or more individuals exchange ideas, feelings and emotions in order to be understood and influenced. The process of communication is developed through an interactive process which involves the exchange of messages, for example, a phone call. Sufficient communication skills are developed through the use of eye contact, gestures, and by practice. Skills such as flexibility and involvement are an essential part of the development process. In order for communication between two or more people to be effective, it must follow an established and detailed structure. This structure ensures that the information to be transmitted is worked out with great care and detail. Once the message is created, it is encoded into one of the many forms, including oral, written, or graphic. If it matches what was intended to be communicated, it has been effective. However, ineffective communication can also occur. There are many aspects that can cause this to happen, including lack of interest, bias towards the sender, and ideology or language. Mintzberg believed that the classical view did not fully show an average manager's activity. This classical view was that managers only undertook the skills of planning, leading and organising. Mintzberg believed the figurehead role should be performed by all managers. Good leadership is the second role, which involved direction and coordination of employees. The final interpersonal role is liaison, which mainly involves communication and interaction. In order to achieve these roles, efficient communication is necessary.
Messages may not always be accepted specifically how the sender expected. Barriers to communication can include jargon, lack of attention, differences in perception, languages, prejudice, and physical disabilities. An experienced communicator should be attentive to these barriers and try to eliminate their impact by continually checking, understanding, and by offering appropriate feedback. Verbal communication is a classic method of communicating. It helps in conveying thoughts, emotions, and sentiments. It can be broken down further into 4 categories: intrapersonal, interpersonal, small group, and public communication. Non-verbal communication is a form of communication which contains body language, gestures, facial expressions, and many more. Written communication is a medium through which the information from the sender is transferred with the help of written words. Visual communication is the visual display of information wherein the message is expressed with the help of visual aid. There are various mediums of communications such as face-to-face communication, telephone, conference, newspapers, letters, reports, email, and so on.
Communication is a necessary competence for success in all managerial roles. This is especially relevant for frontline, middle, and for managerial roles as they are responsible for the successful running of the business. Communication is a crucial competency across all industries, for example, the education industry, as information has to be passed along from the Board of Management to teachers, staff and students for the effective day-to-day running of a school. Communication helps an organisation to achieve fulfilled continuous customers rather than unhappy customers, highly motivated employees rather than a costly industrial dispute, a reputable status in the wider community instead of an undesirable reputation that impacts sales, innovative and creative approaches rather than incompetence, unproductivity, and refusal to accept change.